Hi everyone. So, did you ever come across the question, would you still love me if I was a worm? And I think that question, I could bet you that the first girl who asked that question is probably someone who has read The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. So, today I wanna rant about that, but first let me charge my laptop because that's where I'm filming from. Anyway, if you haven't read the book, it's basically, let me give you like a quick summary of it. It's basically about this guy named Gregor Samsa. He woke up one day as an insect. He's a salesman, and in the story, he's like the sole provider of the family. And he turned into an insect, and basically, he couldn't provide for his family anymore. So then his family kind of just started to neglect and practically abuse him because he's a burden, and he eventually dies. So I think the story really just talks about, like, you know, us in this capitalist society, how everyone is always on such a grind and we're all always on like hustle mode and things like that. The thing with Gregor Samsa was when he woke up and he realized he had turned into an insect, he didn't really panic about that. He kind of just started going on a rant about how he had to go to work and how he has a job to do, and thinking of the ways that he needed to do to, you know, pay his parents' debt and forget about the failure of the family's business, things like that. And after reading the book, I think I kind of realized that there is a Gregor Samsa in every family. Or I feel like I know a lot of Gregor Samsas, and I kind of realize how much I dehumanize my providers, my parents, but specifically, especially my dad. For because he wasn't so emotionally present with me or available, but he was financially very, very present. So to me, he's really like not a lot more other than like a walking ATM machine. And I do understand that the view is very dehumanizing towards him. And that's what I want to talk about actually. It's that's what I want to talk about. Like during the pandemic when he wasn't able to provide, I was genuinely just so mad at him. I was always like picking fights with him, and then also like having seeing my mom working instead, knowing that she's doing something that is not part of her responsibility, makes me even more upset because it's supposed to be his. And I feel like my family really works on this structure where my mom cooks and clean, my dad goes to work, and I'm like the high achieving kid that provides a good name for the family, things like that. And so I think those really strict roles within our family really dehumanizes each other, because I don't really see them as humans as much. I see them as a sole provider, as a sole caretaker, and I'm just like, I know that I'm also just here to give them something to be proud of because they've provided for me and they have taken care of me. I would say I've started to realize the how dehumanized I feel with this responsibilities or with these roles assigned at my downfall, which probably happened around last year or so. I was so burnt out and I couldn't really do anything. I used to have a job and then I didn't, and then I wasn't really doing much for school either because I'm homeschooled and stuff. There's really nothing much that I was doing. And when I was working, like with the salary that I had, I was always spoiling my sister. And like I remember one day my sister came up to me and she was like, "Do you not plan to do anything?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm just taking a break. I'm tired." Like, I was burnt out. I was tired of it. I'm just tired. What do you mean? And she's like, "You know, Mom and Dad are mad at you. You know that, right? Go do something with your life." And I've never felt more hurt or betrayed in my life because she was the one person that I provided to the most. Like, I spoiled her rotten, made sure that she had everything. And I think that's also like, I should also bring up the topic of like financial anxiety. We learn that, at least she learns, that when we're not making money well, our family is in crumble. Because, you know, I don't know why, but it's that. Because, like, my parents will talk about financial problems in front of us, which I think is something that's not supposed to happen. Especially not at this age, not at her age, especially. And it just creates this very bad financial anxiety. But also living in a world, this capitalist world, it just creates a bigger financial anxiety because everything needs money and everything is based on that. And so, yeah, I feel very humanized by her when she told me that. When she told me, like, "Oh, you're not making money, you're not doing anything, go get a life." And I'm like, "Oh, like, I'm tired." And, but, okay. I feel like us as a society forgets to take care of each other more and forget to like remember that we're all human, and that we should thank each other even just for doing our responsibilities because there are so many people out there who neglects their responsibility. So we should really appreciate those who are responsible. Like, especially with fathers, I dehumanize them a lot because, again, as I said, to me, for a really long time, he was just a walking ATM machine. But I feel like I should thank him way more for what he's doing because I know that there are a lot of children out there who doesn't get to have that. And remember that we're all are humans and uh we're not defined by our responsibilities, but we are defined by what we do. And I think that is what needs to be remembered and appreciated more. So nobody dies as an insect like Gregor Samsa. And so I think the question, would you still love me if I was a worm? It's never really about her turning into a worm. It's more about the fact that when you're a worm, you can't really provide or she can't really be anything to you but something that you need to take care of. And I think that's really the question that she's asking. Cause like I feel like a lot of us girls believe that a guy only likes us or loves us because of the things that we do for them or like just because of the things that we bring to the table for them. Like maybe that by our looks are just serving them in a certain way that could be emotionally, sexually, romantically, I don't know. Things like that, but the question is more like if I'm turned into something that you need to take care of, would you still love me? And I think that's like the genuine question that they're trying to ask. And so if your girlfriend asks you, would you still love me if I was a worm? Don't just tell her yes. Tell her how you'll take care of that worm. Tell her how you'll put her in a good soil and feed her cupcakes and whatever. It's things like that. It's the fear of being a burden and not being able to take care of the other. But yeah. So anyway, That's my rant about the Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. If you guys want me to talk about something else or whatever, please, or something specific, leave it to the comment or DM me on my Instagram. But thanks. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys. Please subscribe. Ah.